Let's talk about monkeys. Not just any monkey. A monkey that can play video games. Pong, no less, the original video game. Its mind. And why? Yo, this is Net Dive, where we dive into what you can find the internet. Without further ado, I'm your host Shadrin, and this is Monkey Mind Pong.
This is Pager. He's a 9-year-old macaque who had a Neuralink placed in each side of his brain about 6 weeks ago.
Alright, so if you haven't heard about this, yes, it is by Elon Musk's company Neuralink, which is about to start human testing. This is why I'm bringing this up. You know, some people think this is how they're going to put us in the Matrix. Some people are absolutely horrified. Some people think that this is like literally something they're drilling into your brain and that is permanent. These can be removed and really just like putting these super thin, almost string like, basically electrode receptors, into your brain and pull them out. You don't have to live with this forever. Honestly, I want one.
If you look carefully, you can see that the fur on his head hasn't quite fully grown back yet. He's learned to interact with a computer for a tasty banana smoothie delivered through a straw.
Right, and though they literally just said that it's for a banana smoothie, I still see comments saying the monkey stuck in a pole. I think you'll be surprised. Monkey's pretty smart, but we'll get to more on that later.
We can interact with the Neuralinks simply by pairing them to an iPhone, just as you might pair your phone to a Bluetooth speaker. The links record from more than 2,000 electrodes implanted in the regions of Page's motor cortex that coordinate hand and arm movements.
Right. 2,000. You know, that's a lot just for hand and arm movements. Imagine how many they need for, let's say like advanced emotional functions. Potentially, what if we're having telepathic conversations with these things one day, or moving things electronically with our minds in real life? Who's to say?
Neurons in this region modulate their activity with intended hand movement. For example, some might become more active when he moves his hand up, and others when he moves it to the right. By recording from many neurons and feeding their activity into a decoder algorithm, we are able to predict Page's intended hand movements in real time. First, we calibrate the decoder by recording neural activity as Pager uses the joystick to move a cursor to targets.
So basically, what this is saying is, they're getting like a raw feed of this monkey's brainwaves. All right, remember, there's four types of brainwaves: alpha, beta, delta, theta. And they're taking like a raw feed of this monkey's brain and saying, hey, sometimes when these parts go up, monkey's going up on the stick. Sometimes when these parts go up, monkey's going down on the stick. And they're not actually like trying to predict the future. They're just saying that if these parts of the brain are firing up, he's probably how to move up on the joystick. It's a little simpler than the way they scientifically make it sound.
Presented on the screen. As he's playing this game, we are wirelessly streaming, in real time, the firing rates from thousands of neurons to a computer.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's the money shot. That's what I was talking about. This is the raw brain feed of those four waves: alpha, beta, delta, and theta. And honestly, I couldn't really tell you what we're looking for. Maybe this little cluster right here is a movement. This little cluster right here is a movement. Basically, what they're doing is trying to decode, not only decode these things as fast as possible, trying to figure out what these things mean. So that's why they needed the association. Starting with basically just a joystick's a lot easier than, say, an entire dictionary and trying to make a monkey learn English. But it happened. Who's to say? Also, you're a fan of Star Set. It's literally called the brain machine interface. Did they actually get a message from the future and the band's telling a prophecy, or what's to say?
Using these data, we calibrate the decoder by mathematically modeling the relationship between patterns of neural activity and the different joystick movements they produce. After only a few minutes of calibration, we can use the output from the decoder
A few minutes.
to move the cursor instead of the joystick.
He's saying after a few minutes, they basically had enough to know what this monkey wanted to do. And he looks pretty damn happy, if you ask me.
Pager still moves the joystick out of habit, but as you can see, it's unplugged. He's controlling the cursor entirely with decoded neural activity.
Honestly, that's incredible. I want one. I want one implanted into my head.
Our goal is to enable a person with paralysis to use a computer or phone with their brain activity alone.
Consider me paralyzed with intrigue.
Because they wouldn't be able to move a joystick, they would calibrate the decoder by imagining hand movements to targets. One of the things the Neuralinks allow Pager to do is to play his favourite video game, Pong. To control his paddle on the right side of the screen, Pager simply thinks about moving.
Now watch this monkey's hand. He is thinking about it, but maybe it's still a little easier for him to kind of mimic the movements. He is playing with his mind, right? He is playing with his brain, but still is a little bit of a tethering to the physical realm, if you want to call it that.
His hand up or down. We've removed the joystick altogether. Now that he's up to speed, let's
He even sways his body from side to side. Now, remember in the earlier when I was kind of alluding to human intelligence versus monkey intelligence? Bro, this monkey's about to play Pong better than some fully grown adults I know. I mean, the the geometric trajectories. I mean, this monkey definitely passed eighth grade.
increase the difficulty and see how well Pager can play with the Neuralink.
I mean, like, damn.
As you can see, Pager is amazingly good at Mind Pong. He's focused, and he's playing entirely of his own volition. It's not magic. The reason Neuralink works is because it's recording and decoding electrical signals from the brain. Great
Four
game,
waves, yo.
Pager. And what better reward for a monkey than a banana?
Four waves.
We still have challenges spanning many fields of engineering, so if you're good at solving hard problems and want to change people's lives, even if you've never worked with the brain before, we would love to hear from you.
Go ahead and change your mind. I want one. I'm willing to put in the work hours and sit there and train the neural network, stare at words, look at a picture, think of the word, look at colors, try and associate colors, try and associate words. We can even push this thing further. I don't care how many little things they gotta put into me, man. I don't want to be on the wrong side of history with this thing. I don't want to be on the wrong side of the future. You know, I'm assuming that you get in early, you'll basically be the god of this thing. Hack your own mind. I don't gotta go buy drugs no more. I can just make myself trip. Also, I mean, like, my original intrigue for this all way back in high school before this was even announced was I've always wanted to record my dreams. So me, man, a lot of people are scared, but I really see the future with this. Hopefully, it's better than a lot of these warnings and foretellings tell us. But hey, man, there's a lot of realities. There's a lot of different timelines. Maybe I could be the one who brings us the good one. But I want one of these things, man. I'm not about to be outdone by a monkey or a machine. So, did you get one? Leave a comment. Also, What do you think about this monkey's pong skills? It honestly was pretty good. Well, y'all, this is Shadrin signing out from Net Dive. Y'all have a good one. Looking for those answers, y'all.